Welcome to Trade You for the Fruit Punch. We're back. We took an international break. Not really. We took a break for um, the war that started in Israel. Started on October 7th, 2023. And so we felt like it wasn't appropriate for us to record for a few weeks. We're still recording with a heavy heart, um, but we are here and we are going to talk about sports. I don't know, Ari, if you have anything else you want to add. We didn't really preview this with one another, so I'm kind of putting him on the spot. But 1,400 of our family members were murdered on October 7th, and I think it's important that we took a little hiatus and that we mentioned that as well. And there's a long road ahead. And so, thoughts, Ari? And I know I put you on the spot, so you don't have to say anything, and that's okay.
I'm going to choose not to implicate myself under
Okay.
these circumstances.
That is fair. So our thoughts and prayers are with our 7 million family members in Israel, and with the other, call it 9 million family members that are outside of Israel. Well, minus a handful that are kind of self-hating and don't deserve to be called Jews. But anyway, so random thoughts. Basketball. We always talk about my basketball prowess.
And
Thereof. So since the last time we talked, I joined a new league and I've had 2 games. First game, I went 3 for 5 from 3 and I was on fire. Like it was just beautiful. The 2 that I missed they were close. I could have gone 5 for 5. I made the leaderboard in the league for most threes. I
wow,
was 9th in the league with 3 threes. And then yesterday I shit the bed.
there it is.
Yeah,
It
I
was
went 0 for
yesterday?
1 from the field and scored 0.0 points.
So the new league is Sundays?
New league is Sunday morning. My 2 games have been at 8 a.m., which is not fun because I'm not warm at 8 a.m. And then I played tonight, and we played 4-on-4 full. And I showed every bit of my age, every bit of my 48 years out there. I think I scored 3 buckets. I probably went 0 for 3 from 3, 3 for 6, 3 for 7. Like so what I've realized is in my old age, there is huge variability in performance. Some days it's like I was 35 and hitting threes and looking good. And some days, oh boy, I look like shit. But the days where I look good make me want to keep playing, and the days where I look bad make me feel like shit. And so today I feel a little bit like shit. Not so good. But I will play next Sunday. Actually, I think we're off next Sunday, and then I'm in London the following Sunday, so I won't be playing the league for a few weeks. I will have my Monday night regular 5-on-5 next Monday, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm not expecting much from my game. What can I tell you?
What can you do?
What can
When you
you do?
hit the big 4-8, it's a little tough to continue with your sports prowess.
Yeah, but I'm not ready to give it up. That's why I play second base in softball. Like it's the perfect position for me. I could play another 10 years there. It's a great spot.
You probably will too.
I will play until I know that I suck. And believe me, I will know when I suck. And I didn't suck this past season. I was pretty good. And I think I figured out hitting opposite field too, but like I've got to work through that in my head. Yeah,
A
I think
little
it's about my
oppo?
hands. I think it's about the hands. Like when you hit, you come over. But when you go opposite field, I think you need to punch it more and not go over. And I don't know why I've never known that. Because I think my hands were just quick enough that I could come over. And now I'm 48 years old and just not good enough for yeah. So I will tell you Yesterday, I did a 7-leg parlay on the Eagles game.
Oh God. And it hit, didn't it?
It fucking hit.
The worst better of all time, but even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yes. And can I tell you the 7-leg parlay?
Of course.
So, 7-leg parlay, $10 to pay out 197.50. It had
Honestly, for
a
seven legs,
boosted
that's
odds.
not even that much.
No. Well, so it
You
had
took like
boosted
the
odds.
lowest odds legs, didn't you?
I picked some low odds legs, but I almost lost. But here's the thing. They had a boost and I won an extra 62 out of the 197, but I could only bet 10. I wanted to bet $22. So it kind of cost me a little bit, but it
That's a
was the
weirdly
right move.
specific
So
number.
Jalen Hurts scores anytime. Tyreek Hill, 80 plus receiving yards. AJ Brown, 90 plus receiving yards. Swift, 50 plus receiving yards. And he needed that carry in the fourth quarter that
Like
got us.
right at the end.
Yeah, so I don't know how long that carry was because I was on the toilet, but I heard it. And I heard that he got to the 6-yard line. And I thought to myself, I hit on that one. I needed that, and I hit on it. Dolphins under 4.5 touchdowns, which I like. Dude, was that even a question?
Did that keep the odds like the
The
same?
same? I'm not
You could
sure.
have taken that out and the odds would have been exactly
You
the
know, when
same.
you do experiments, you're supposed to take one thing. I didn't do that here, but I should have. Um, Jalen Hurts 275 passing yards, and it wasn't until he hit AJ Brown at
My
the end
friends bet on that one too, and it was like a little tight.
he hit 279. And Tua 1+ passing TD. And he had one. And so 12.5 to 1 odds became 18.75 to 1 odds. And my $10 paid out $197.
Speaking of the Eagles, they wore the beautiful Kelly green jerseys,
Those are
and
nice.
I made an impulse purchase on my own dime.
What did you buy?
I bought myself a Jason Kelsey Kelly green jersey.
How much did you spend?
$120.
Really? Where did you buy said jersey?
Fanatics.
Is it a Nike or is it a Fanatics jersey?
It's a Nike jersey. It's like the legit one.
Okay, because I hate when we are anti-Fanat. We buy everything on Fanatics, but we do not buy Fanatics brand.
No, the Fanatics brand I think was slightly cheaper, and I opted for the more expensive one.
Okay, we don't buy Fanatics brand. No way. It's like grounds for cutting you off.
Mm-hmm.
Paying
Of
for
my
talent.
own money?
I don't give a shit. You don't buy Fanatics brand. It's not allowed. Not in this house.
They also made a
Nobody's
trade
buying
today.
that Kmart fucking brand in this house.
They made a trade today.
You
A
made a
good one.
trade.
No, the Eagles did.
Who do we trade?
We traded a shitty safety, a fifth, and a sixth for an all-pro safety,
Who do we get?
Kevin Byard, who's from Philly. And
Super.
We fleeced the Titans again, which is always fun.
All right. Cool. Eagles 6-1. Phillies. Aaron Nola went back to the way he pitched all season.
Because he sucks at his job.
He was 3-0 going into that game, but eventually he was going to come back to reality. And now we got Ranger, your boy.
And the offense almost laid a goose egg. It was atrocious.
So we will see. I bet we're the favorites, but I'm not liking our chances.
No, when they've played like under pressure, they've played better, right? Like the Atlanta series, they were under pressure the entire series because it's the Braves. And then games 1 and 2 of this series, they were under pressure, they won. They let
Game
loose
5.
in they let loose in Arizona, and then game 5 realized, "Oh shit, we need to win again." And they let loose again today, and we're dog shit.
Well, we'll see tomorrow. All of Philadelphia will be glued to the TV watching this game. I hope we obviously win. I don't like our chances against Texas if we make it that far. It certainly looks like Texas is going to win Game 7.
That being said, I mean, they shit the bed at home. Like, the Astros blew them out pretty much all 3 games.
Well, let's get there, and then we can not talk about it because I don't want to talk about it.
We'll be talking about it.
I am
There's nothing you
trying
can do.
to not watch all that much baseball because it gives me anxiety for 3 hours. Like every pitch matters and it bothers me. So we're going to move on to we've got this week we've got some Tottenham talk which we'll do at the end. We'll
Oh,
talk
we're doing
Sixers and we'll
I
do
figured
our
Tottenham would be first and we would do award predictions last. No?
no, I think people like there's we have a fan base
Mostly
that
my
pref-
friends.
that prefers the Tottenham stuff at the end. So they can tune out. And then it's just really us having a conversation that we happen to record and put online, but nobody listens to. But at least with the Sixers. So Ben Simmons watched, nothing really to report, but I do have a quote for you.
He had
Now,
8 turnovers in his preseason game against us.
well, so I have a quote for you.
That's pretty noteworthy.
When it comes to basketball, I don't have a problem with Ben Simmons. He was chirping at one of our rookies. I'm talking to you all game, and you ain't saying nothing. Toby is cooking your ass. His swag is too high to not have done a lot. Who am I?
Patrick Beverley.
Patrick Beverley. Patrick Beverley, who did get kicked out of that game for talking
For
shit.
shit talking Ben
Ben
Simmons.
Simmons, which is why we love Patrick Beverley. He's the equivalent of me. Like my 48 in my Monday night games is like what Patrick Beverley is now in the NBA. He should retire, but every once in a while he'll drop like, 4 threes and everyone will be like, oh, Pat Beverly's great. But let's be honest, he's the equivalent of 48-year-old Gee in the NBA. And he's seen better days.
He's also going on like a media world tour. He called Siakam and he said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, Toronto has no dogs. If I saw OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam in a dark alleyway, I wouldn't be scared.
He's not wrong. I mean, I don't know what to say other than he's not wrong. So I was actually having a conversation with one of my basketball buddies tonight, who's a huge Sixers fan. And I looked at him, he looked at me, and we both said to ourselves, like, man, I am not looking forward to watching this team play. And it's all because of James Harden. It's all James Harden, and frankly, and you know how I feel about him, and Joel Embiid.
I'm looking forward to the young guys.
Jaden Springer, like who gives a shit?
I love Jaden Springer.
He's a waste of space. He's not even gonna play.
No, he's not. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
You think he's
Yes,
gonna
he
play?
is.
Why?
Because he is the best perimeter defender on the team, and that's saying something because we have DeAnthony Melton.
Do I really want to watch DeAnthony Melton, the most mediocre of mediocre ball handlers and passers and shooters? Like, yes, he has some games.
He's a good shooter. That's wrong, but he's not a point guard basically. He's a 2.
But he's not he's so mediocre. He's like so boring. Like he's just
No, he isn't. You've made this decision over the offseason because you haven't seen him in a while. He is a good role player.
We don't have Niang anymore, who was fun. He sucked.
He was fun.
right?
He was so
Instead, we
much
got
fun.
Kelly Oubre,
Oh,
who he's like so. There's something about him that's just too much for me. Like he's like a broke ass Kyle Kuzma, right? Like from a fashion standpoint, he's got his own brand, and I don't know. He's trying to sell his hoodies for way too much. Although Paul Reed is too.
yeah, but Paul Reed has built up a fan base.
Paul Reed
Kelly
has.
Oubre needs to earn that right.
I just like I don't know. I feel like he tries to be too pretty. So you got Kelly Oubre. You got didn't we get Danny Green back? Like why? He makes Pat Beverly look young. Like that's how old Danny Green is with
We
that like
cut
robotic
Montrez
run.
today, though.
What?
We cut Montrez today.
Did we really? I
I
mean,
mean, he has a torn ACL. He can't play for the season.
did he get it while he was with us, or did he get it like hanging out during the summer, like on the beach?
I think it was with us, but I'm not sure.
Who cares? I'm so not excited about this team. Like they're so boring. So we're gonna move on. I want nothing. Like, by the way, Thursday night, opening night.
We
There's a
are getting
fun,
our backs blown out.
there's a fundraiser though, so I'm at least gonna be surrounded by other people who are gonna hate this team as much as I do. So that should be fun. I'm gonna have pizza, some wings, some shitty basketball. And we're gonna get blown out. So who's your MVP?
I'm
By the
going
way,
off the books.
wait a second, Mister Off the Books last year's sleeper. Do you remember who your sleeper was?
Of course I do. It was
Who was it?
Zion.
Zion. Yeah. Oh
If he
boy.
had played, I mean, the first like 25 games of the season, he was an MVP candidate. And then he turned into Zion Williamson and didn't stay on the court.
Well, he got hurt during the Sixers game, and we never saw him again.
Anyway, I'm
Who?
going off the board. If you'll remember, I had the Thunder very high in
You're going
my
Shea?
seeding. I'm going Shea. He
Wow.
had an MVP caliber season last year, basically. The guy was a machine.
I feel like Shea is a tiny bit overhyped.
No, no,
I do.
no, no. Shea doesn't actually, because Shea is in a small market team that hasn't made the playoffs since he's been there. Shea
Yeah,
is
but
underhyped for what he
everyone's
is.
like giving him his flowers, and Shea's the man, and Shea this and Shea that.
Because Shea's a top 10 player in this league.
Shea is great, not MVP. My MVP, I'm gonna go basic. I'm gonna be a basic bitch.
Which
Giannis.
option? Ugh.
Giannis.
Ugh.
Yeah, yeah.
That's despicable.
I know,
Have
but
some
that's what I'm
shame.
going.
Have some shame, old man.
Most improved player.
Mm. The thing is, I didn't write anything down in preparation for this.
Do you need me to go
So
first to give
I'm
you
going off.
ideas because you're a
I'm going
putz?
off the dome here, but I think I'm gonna go Denny. I think it's finally gonna
Denny.
be the. I think it's finally gonna be the Denny year.
Yeah, Denny is a little bit better. Yeah, it's not Denny. Sorry. It's not. Like he's
He
fine.
just signed a 4-year, $55 million extension. He doesn't have Bradley Beal hogging the ball anymore.
That's fair.
With an
I mean,
improved role, I would hope like he can finally show off the playmaking that he like was hyped for pre-draft that they never let him show off because, he didn't get to touch the ball more than 4 times a night.
I think you're being influenced by the fact that like the Wizards are your second team.
I'm not sure. I mean, I like the Wizards, but I think the Magic are my second team this year
Ugh. That's another Pat Bev line. Like, how do you have two top 50 guys and not make the playoffs? Well, I mean,
because they're like 21-year-olds.
yeah, and I don't like Franz, but anyway, so my most improved is actually going to be Cade Cunningham.
Ugh.
But I have special honorable mention Because Zion barely played last season, he could be most improved.
No, that's not how that works. This
Yeah,
is
it should
this is
though.
like when you said Julius Randle was gonna like yo-yo back and forth between like most improved and then shit so he could win most improved again. Like that's not how that works.
I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna.
This
You know what?
isn't
I'm changing my
comeback
bet.
player of
I'm
the
I'm
year.
changing. I'm gonna bet on Julius Randle as most improved. How can he be any worse? Uh, I mean, I could see a Dante DiVincenzo being pretty good, but my pick is Cade. Even though I want to kind of pick Maxi, but I don't feel like unless Harden leaves, Maxi's not. He's just gonna have the same season as last year. Do we think he's gonna get any better? Side note: do we think Maxi's getting any better?
I think his handle will be better, and I would hope his playmaking's a little better. I mean, his shooting is already like really good. It's just he needs to work on being like an actual point guard this year. And from everything that they were saying during the offseason, like he knows that too. So hopefully.
All right. Um, I'm gonna go to sixth man.
Who's even playing the sixth man this year? It depends on who the Celtics decide to start. Because if Derek White ends up being a sixth man, I think he'll be up there. And I think Isaiah Quickly will be up there again.
So I have Quickly as mine. I think he improves from last year. There's no way he's starting on that team, right? But I think they're going to want to give Brunson some more rest during the regular season because they're going to play him 63 minutes a game in the playoffs. And
I
so
think
Quickly,
you overestimate Tibbs. Tibbs doesn't rest people, period.
I'm hoping for a more evolved Tibbs where
That does not exist.
I don't think it exists either. That guy will run those people into the
Into the
ground.
ground.
He is.
Alternatively, whichever guard the Magic decide not to start could be an option. Because there's like three guys there that you could be starting. Then again, if Jalen Suggs is that sixth man, it's not going to be him because he sucks. But like, if they decide to start him and like bench Cole Anthony could be up there in sixth man of the year conversations.
Does Markel Fultz start for them, or does he come off the bench?
He was starting end of last season, but I don't know which of those three they're going to start.
All right, so you're basically saying the sixth man of the Celtics or the sixth man of the Magic, which is not really a pick because you're supposed to pick a
No,
person.
if it's Al Horford as the sixth man of the Celtics, then it's not going to be Al Horford. It's
Yeah, there's all
only.
these caveats. I can't keep track of these caveats. Like it's too much. Just pick somebody.
I mean, I guess quickly then, but like, I feel like that's boring. I'm giving some options here.
Yeah, I don't want your options, but I'm gonna put you down for quickly. Um, so what do we say? MVP, you had Shea. Who did you have for most improved? Like I feel like you didn't answer that one either.
I said Denny,
Oh,
and then you
Danny.
shot me down immediately.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
not
That's a
going to
bad
happen.
pick. All right, rookie of the year.
I mean, like, this one's so easy. He's
I'm
going to
not
break
picking
the.
him.
I know you're not, but you're incorrect. Like, if he is healthy, he's going to break the NBA.
You know who I'm gonna pick? The
Scoot.
guy. Who? No, my least favorite player, who's a rookie this year. Who is that?
Who are we going for here?
Chet Holmgren. Fucking hate him. Hate everything about his game. Think he's a broke ass Wembanyama, but I'm picking Chet. Chet's gonna win Rookie of the Year.
You like laid all of your claims on Scoot last year, and you've decided to ditch your boy.
No. I love
What's up
Scoot.
with
By the way.
that?
I love
Okay,
Scoot.
then why didn't you pick him?
Huge fan because I wanted to stick it to myself and pick Holmgren. It's basically spiting myself. That's what I'm doing here. Chet Holmgren, my least favorite NBA player of all time almost, is going to win Rookie of the Year. And it's going to be one of those when Ben Simmons won because he was a second-year player, and it's going to be the controversy. And Spida had the jerseys like Rookie of the Year means first-year player or some bullshit. That's what it's going to be about. And Chet's going to win because he's had a whole year to do absolutely nothing but watch film and rehabilitate. Chet Holmgren, my Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
Coach of the Year.
Do we care?
No, but
Do we care?
no, but you got to pick one. I'm picking Doc Rivers.
I don't even know his name, but whoever the Thunder coach is. If they end up as the 4th seed like I predict, like he'll win it.
So I actually think it's going to be Adrian Griffin of the Bucks.
It could be.
That's who I'm picking. All right, Defensive Player of the Year.
I feel like this one's interesting because there's a lot of guys that I actually really like defensively this year. I think I'm going to go Evan Mobley, though.
So I thought about Evan Mobley, but I don't love his game.
Defensively, I love his game.
I'm going to
Offensively, he's
pick
got no
someone
back.
who's not even in the top 5 in the preseason.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
What?
Who are
I'm
you
a
gonna
great
say?
better. What are you talking about?
Oh, no.
I
Who are you
just
gonna
did a
say?
7-leg parlay. I'm the best
Yeah,
better in
with
the
all
world.
of the odds being like basically evens.
I mean, you multiply that by 7 and you get $197 off $10.
Let's hear it.
Mikal Bridges.
Oh, okay.
But he's not even in the top 5.
Because most perimeter players don't end up in the top 5
Yeah,
because
I'm
it's a
gonna go-
center-dominated award.
He's going to definitely play a lot of minutes. And he's going to. By the way, did you watch? I don't know who was interviewing him, but they were like watching his highlights with him. It's pretty funny. It's pretty fun. Like I've seen this bit before, and I actually enjoy watching like them watching their highlights and commenting on it. It's not bad television or whatever. I think it's on Bleacher Report. But I want his was recent. It was pretty good. Best off-season move. You're gonna hate mine.
Oh no.
I feel like you're gonna go Porzingis, and I'm helping you
I
because I feel like
do love Porzingis,
I know you do.
but it's so reliant on him staying healthy. But I think I'm gonna do it anyway because I do love a little bit of Porzingis.
So I'm gonna go with another one of my guys who I can't fucking stand.
You're gonna go with Dame.
I'm going with Dame.
It's so basic.
I know, but I'm going with Dame. Because I don't know if you realize the theme going on here. I fucking hate Giannis.
You're just spiting yourself for like no
across
reason.
the board. I don't like the Knicks and quickly. He's fine.
Other than Mikal Bridges, like you're literally just shooting yourself in the face.
And I don't mind Cade Cunningham. Like he's fine. I couldn't look if he
I'm
never
not a
played
big
another
fan.
NBA game, it wouldn't really affect my life in any way. Like if Steph didn't play another NBA game, I'd be upset. I'd be sad.
You'd be beside yourself.
I might be, right? Like
you're like the weirdest guy because you work on old head logic, but also like you love the modern game.
But I don't love Clay. That's the problem. Like I love Steph. I can't stand Clay though.
Well, because you think Clay is fully like a product of the guys around him, because like he can't dribble, really. So he's fully relying on like Steph and Draymond to give him the ball.
Do you know that I think when he scored that 72 or 81 or 300 points, I think he had like 9 dribbles that whole game. It's my game.
You take that stat as you like it, right? Like if you're a fan of Clay, you're like, wow, like this is exactly what he's there for. Like people create for him and he takes the shot and he makes it. And if you're not a Clay fan, you're like, this guy doesn't do anything for himself. He needs the people around him.
I feel like he still has like 27-year-old Clay swagger, but now he's 34 and he should be like limping when he swaggers, but he's not. And like it bothers me. Like
He
I
did say this
understand.
was going to be his best year ever.
Clay said that.
Yeah.
See, like, he mentally has not accepted the fact that he is not as good as he used to be.
You have to, though, when you're in the NBA.
No, because there are guys
Never
out
accept
there.
defeat.
I will tell you, if I like a guy like Rudy Gay, a
Rudy Gay
guy.
was never good. Rudy Gay was good. Rudy Gay was never great. Rudy
No,
Gay
and
wasn't like
who was the French 3-point shooter who played for a lot
Evan
of years?
Fournier.
No, before Evan Fournier. Um, God, who is it? I'm gonna have to look it up. French 3-point shooters.
You know who's a good example of giving up your role a little bit? Who you'll hate? Andre Iguodala.
Oh,
My
he's
goat.
finally done. Oh, thank God he's finally done.
Congratulations on an excellent career, Iggy. We will miss you. The game will miss you.
Yeah, the game's not gonna miss him all that much. Nicholas Batum. That's what I was
Oh.
thinking about. Like, here's a guy who realized he was getting old and just kind of
But again,
perfected
the
what he was
guy was
doing.
never good. Like, you have to pick guys who were like first options, right? Like Iggy on those Sixers teams, and even a little bit on those Nuggets teams, was like a first, second option. And then he went to the Warriors and he was a fourth option. Like, that's what
I
we're
feel
talking
like
about. Not a guy who went from like a third to a fifth option, a fourth to a fourth option.
what was it, 2008 Celtics? Who was the starter on that team?
Rondo.
Rondo. Rondo never quite figured out that he got old and wasn't as good because he played like the same way and thought he was as good. And I feel like Clay's the same guy, and it bothers me. I don't know. Well, we can move on. I'm not a Clay fan. Disappointing player of the year.
Do we have a disappointing team of the year?
We can.
Because like I have them finishing first in my standing predictions, and at the same time, I feel like Dame and Giannis are both going to disappoint just like a little bit. Like the system will be really good, but like both of their individual stats will tank because of each other.
So it's interesting because I actually think the Celtics are going to be the disappointing team of the year when it's all
Oh,
said.
I think the Celtics like fit way better.
I think their coach isn't that good though.
He's not. My thing with the Bucks is like Dame and Giannis are so different that like they almost right like they could work really well, right? Dame drags like three defenders out of the paint and then passes it to Giannis, who's only got two guys to defend him, and it's great, right? But Dame doesn't feel like a guy who wants to be unselfish, and I just feel like he's gonna be the same guy he always is, who like wants to take all the shots. And Giannis always wants to take all the shots.
Well, the good thing
And
for
also,
Giannis
Chris
though,
Middleton's just there.
is he'll bring the ball up, he'll dribble in, then he'll do his back, and then he'll dribble back, and then he'll come back and forth, and he'll never pass the ball. And when he scores 40 points, he will dribble 375 times. Whereas Clay, when he scores 40, he'll do it once next year. He will dribble it 3 times.
How did we end up back at Clay?
I can't stand him. He walks and he's got like this strut where his like
He's
head is
won
sticking up and his
4
chin's up,
rings.
and he's like,
He's allowed to do that. He's won 4 rings.
I don't know. He's always telling everybody. He's always telling Dylan Brooks he won 4 rings. God, that's one of my least favorite players too. And he is so ugly, but sorry. Anyway, it's not about his looks. Oof. Not an attractive man. Sorry. All right. So disappointing player of the year. I have 2. And they're not going to surprise you. James Harden and Ben Simmons. I fucking hate them, and they're going to disappoint everybody
They
involved.
can't be disappointments if they suck, Abba. You
No,
always
Harden
misunderstand
still
this.
thinks he's like a max level guy.
What he thinks and what the consensus about him is are two different things.
They're going to be disappointing.
He's so bad that the Clippers won't trade Terrence Mann for him. They like drew the line. They were like, that's the end of the discussion.
By the way, I like Terrence Mann. I like him a lot. I don't know how he fits with the Sixers team.
The guy is 27 years old and is like a mediocre role player. Like not even a good
It is
one.
interesting. Terrence Mann now is 27. Like you think he's 23 with some upside, but there's no upside.
He strikes you as a 23-year-old.
He does with some upside.
27 years old.
He's 27 with no upside, and if anything, it's downside. But I remember the year where the Clippers were in the playoffs and they had nobody.
Kawhi went down, and it was PG and Terrence Mann against the Utah Jazz.
And Terrence Mann.
And they won because of Terrence Mann.
That guy was lighting
up. We watched
up.
that game in a hotel room in LA?
In LA, yeah.
In LA during COVID.
Terrence Mann, I think, scored 38 of his like 40 points in the first half, though. He couldn't hit the side of a fucking
I think it was
barn.
the second half, wasn't it?
I remember it being the first half.
I think he turned it on second half.
There was probably another game where it was the opposite.
Maybe.
It could be. Because there were a bunch of these games where he's like a half player. He plays half a game really well, and then he disappears for the other half. That's his game. And he's got no upside whatsoever. But that's where they drew the line. I would love to have him, actually. Just because you just
like him, and you want more players you like on this team.
Yeah, and I kind of
want to make them like a little bit more watchable.
But I kind of want to give Joel Embiid like absolutely no help whatsoever. It's all on him, and this way, like he can feel the pain because he doesn't even feel the pain. He cried in 2017 or whatever it was,
19.
And he hasn't cried since. And he said, "Whoa, it's not going to happen again." It happens every year. God, I hate the Sixers. I fucking hate them. With a passion.
I do too.
Everything about them is like, the 10-72 process Sixers with fucking Rocco and Ish Smith as our starting point guard were more fun than this team. Can we just blow it up? Please.
I feel like we devolve to this exact conversation every time we talk about them. And you're the one who pushes us to talk about them. I tried to say we should stop talking about the Sixers because I hate them. And you were like, they're my favorite Philadelphia sports team. I hate the Eagles. They bore me.
I watched a game yesterday. I've actually watched more football this year than I have in many, many years.
I've watched an ungodly amount of football. I don't do anything on Sundays except go to my friend's apartment, sit on the couch, and watch football.
How's your schoolwork going?
Fine. I do it on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm. You're at the university to study, not to watch football.
Uh-huh.
Were you watching that Giants-Redskins game? Because that was some of the worst TV I've ever seen. I fell asleep on the couch during that game.
We had Red Zone on. Nick's a big Red Zone guy.
Okay. I don't like Red Zone.
I don't either. It's too much stimulation for me.
But that being said, the Giants-Redskins game was like melatonin. It was like the opposite of stimulation. If you want to go to sleep early one night, just find a replay of that game, and it's like reading a book. You know how you read, I don't know, someone will tell you, here's this, agreement you should read when you, obviously you don't know, but, someone's like, here's an agreement you should read. And I'm like, do I have to? And they're like, yeah, it'll put you to sleep. Ha, 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 ha. It's like the big business joke. Oh, that agreement, it'll put you to sleep. That fucking game was so bad. And I felt like the color was wrong in the stadium. Like, I feel like I was in 1990 and it was like Michael Strahan was playing. Like, and like the Hogs from like, it was so bad.
What
And
are
yet
you
it was
talking
on for
about?
3 hours. Because your mother and your sister went to see the Martin Scorsese movie. So I had the house all to myself. And rather than do something good, I just put that game on. I moved the pillow down a little bit. And I just took a little, like, I got nuzzled up and I took a little snooze.
Who
And
are
then,
you kidding? That is the perfect
can I tell you a
outcome.
story? Oh, I've got a story for you. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
I should have started with this one because nobody's going to get like this. So
Nobody's gonna hear this one.
your sister wakes up 5:45. We're going for a run.
Ugh,
We decided to go for a run.
that's
I was
horrifying.
assuming she would wake me up. She got all pissed off because I wanted to set the alarm for like 6:15. She wakes up at like 5:30, wakes me up at 5:45. I made a mistake. I didn't. So let me tell you, I don't dream a lot.
Oh no. Oh my god. Where is this going?
I had a dream that like I really had to shit. I had a dream that I really had to shit. Like it was like insane. I had to shit. And I wake up, I get ready to go running, and I kind of let go of the dream. I forgot because normally when I have a dream about having to pee or shit, like I have to actually pee or shit. No. So we're going on this run, and I'm like,
This is
oh,
going on the internet.
I was like, oh boy. And so we did like a 2.25 mile loop, and we probably ran like half of it. And it is a miracle I didn't shit my pants.
God damn it.
It's a miracle. No, I think it was making an appearance. It was like it was peeping its head out. I swear to God, I got home. I went straight to the toilet, and I was like, I fully expected to have to throw away like every piece of clothing that was on my body, and I miraculously, I must have walked for 20 minutes, like clenching and walking. And my hands were like in this like rigor mortis state. Like I was like, oh my god. And there were times where I was like, oh my god, oh my, it crossed my mind. The shit. How bad this was. I don't think your sister realized how bad it was.
Oh my god. We can't do this ever again.
I mean, it's natural. I didn't
How did
listen to my
this come
body.
up? How did this come up?
I didn't listen to my body. I should have listened to my body. I should have taken an extra 5 minutes to myself. And I gotta tell you though, once I got home, oh boy, it was the best feeling in the world.
We were just talking about you taking a nap during Giants Commanders. How did this come up?
I don't know, but man, whew.
I'm crying.
You have no idea.
I'm crying.
All right. So, did you even give me a disappointing player of the year?
Yeah, I told you it was Damon Giannis.
Okay, Damon Young. Are we good? I don't want to do all defensive team. I think we did it last year and
No,
you were
fuck
like,
that.
no. I
That's too
don't care.
much.
We doing NBA all first team? Yeah, first team NBA. We can do it quickly. Jokic, Giannis, Tatum, Doncic, Booker. My five.
Shea, Luca. Do you think they'll do this year? Right?
Oh, it is positionless?
I think with the new CBA, it might be.
Okay. I went with positions, but I wouldn't change my team anyway because Joel Embiid is not making my first team. Fuck him.
I'm not even worried about that. I'm more so Shea, Luca, Booker, Tatum, Jokic. Yeah, I'll stick with that.
Tatum.
I think Wemby will make third team this year, though.
I don't think so. I think they're gonna muscle him and bully him a little bit.
Did you watch him during the preseason?
I saw the highlights. I didn't see enough of it though.
It's ridiculous.
It's a preseason.
There's nothing you can, but like, there's something about just the way he's like there all the time. Like he might be an all defense selection. He might be an all-star. He might be an all NBA in his first year. He is ridiculous.
I think they'll find ways, like good coaches, like a Spolstra, will find ways to isolate him so he can't do
Sure.
much.
But like I think that's only gonna be plausible for like a few of the games. Because he'll figure that out.
No, but they'll set screens, they'll pick, right? And then he'll take a guy who's like never going to get the ball. Like for the Sixers, he'll have to guard like Danny Green or something. And he can't sag too much because Danny Green will be able to shoot. So maybe that's what they do is they put a 3-point shooter as the pick and the
But he
pick
can
and pop.
block from like the free throw line.
Yeah, but
The guy has the longest arms I've ever seen.
I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sold.
I know. I'm well aware.
All right, Tottenham.
I love this team. It's so
So
refreshing.
fair result today. Should we have won?
Oh yeah. I
Should we have
mean,
scored more?
the first half, I thought we had some of the best. Like, I think the first half was the best I've seen us play all year. We had some of the best attacking patterns I've seen, like, period. We should have scored like 3 or 4 in the first half, I thought. Kulusevski needs to get his act together because that guy, as soon as he's in like the opposition box, isn't looking at the goal. He looks terrified. And like all the other aspects of the game, he's doing really well in right now, I would say. But it's just like he needs to be a threat to shoot. And he just isn't. And I don't know why.
So I saw it too. I think they were a little unselfish. I think we should have scored more in the first half. Should they have scored?
Maybe one of them. I didn't think any of their chances were all that good. And also, like, Vicario is the second best keeper in the league.
So I like Vicario. You know who really impressed me today was VDV.
He's so good. But Romero was
They
insane.
they were both great. Um,
I feel like they alternate on who has the better game, but neither one of them puts in like less than a 7 out of 10 every week.
well,
And
so
usually it's
Vanderbilt,
more.
he, I mean, I want to say 3, 4 times was in a dead sprint and like
Oh, yeah.
beat the guy. There was actually one play near the end of the game, second
I know
half.
exactly. The Emerson block. It ended up in an
Emerson
Emerson
block.
block, but
Correct.
Van de Ven held him up long enough that other guys could get back. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
I mean, that was. I'm not going to go as far as saying it was a Ledley the King, like, right? That one Ledley the King um, defensive play from many, many years ago, but he's pretty fucking good.
I mean, on form, this is maybe the best center back partnership in the world on form.
I mean, I think we got to, like, if Fulham were halfway decent and were any bit clinical, they would have scored at least one, if not two. They
But
had
if we
chances.
were more clinical, we would have scored 4 or 5.
I understand that, and that's the way Ange plays. So I'm fine with it. But Fulham were pretty poor. Like they should have scored at least one.
I don't think that's true. I didn't love any of their chances.
No, I think they had some
Like,
chances.
none of their chances were, like, clear cut. The best chance they had was the Emerson block at the end, but by the time that, like, Van de Ven got back there and everyone else got back there, it was no longer a good
But
chance.
here's the thing, right? A good player would take that ball and would be one-on-one with Vicario.
Sure, but we're talking about Fulham right now.
I understand, and I'm saying a better team would have scored in those situations. Like Fulham's
And
just
a
not very
better
good.
team plays a totally different game. Like, you can't play this what if game.
No, I get it, but I don't know. Jimenez, like something obvious. Well, something happened, a fucking concussion and a brain skull fracture. That guy was lighting the league on fire before he got injured. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. He was so good, and he is. I mean,
He's a shell.
he's a shell of what he was. Vinny Goal is Vinny
I
No
love him
Goal.
now. I love
Yeah,
him.
of course. Like, there's nothing not to love about Vinny No Goal, but like, he really is a no goal.
He was
He's
one
not.
of like during like the dark ages of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, like
Yes.
he was one of like the bright spots where it was like, oh, Vinny Goal's playing.
Well, he never really. He scored against Marine, a fourth division team at Marine.
He was good in the Europa League. Europa Conference League, sorry.
Yeah, let's not exaggerate. But at Marine, I remember that goal. Like, I remember that game because that
Didn't we
stadium
win that
opened.
one 8-0?
Yeah, but
But we like still
it
weren't
should.
that good.
No, we were not that good. There were a few of those games where we were not that good under Jose. He was, yeah, Vinny no goal. So, what'd you think of Hogberg?
How does that guy manage to look like shit in a great performance? He's like terrified when he has the ball. I thought like he had a few moments where I was like, "Oh, okay, like that was decent." But overall, like that guy is so bad and so useless in a possession system. It's unbelievable. You thought he was good, didn't you?
No, I thought he was okay. I think he was better than he was last year. Obviously, he's a little more forward thinking. He was so negative last year, right? Now I do miss like the Viking.
The
I
ball
feel
goes out
like
for a throw in and he's celebrating.
I feel I feel like they give him sedatives before the game now to slow him down. Well, so here's my
This
thought.
is the hard hitting journalism people come here
Here's
for.
my thought process, right?
Minute
He was on the
54.
field when Erickson had a heart attack, right? And so I mean,
Where? Where
wait.
are we going with this?
And so I feel like the Danish team doctor looked at him and said, "If you're not careful, this will happen to you because of how excited you get over a throw in." And so they prescribed medication before every game that basically puts him in a coma. And he's
You're
basically
crazy.
he's like comatose when he plays now.
You're criminally insane.
He's I think it's a fair point.
By
I
the
think it's
way, after the Emerson block, if you paid attention, did you pay attention to Emerson after that block?
no.
He and Poro chest bumped.
Oh boy.
Ball was still in play. They chest bumped. I loved it.
So I don't love like I don't why do we take Udogi out? Was it because he played during the international break?
He felt some tightness, they said.
Okay. Because I don't love either Emerson or Poro on the left hand side.
Yeah, no, I didn't like that. I was upset about it too. And
Was
then
Davis not on the bench? I don't remember.
Davis was unavailable. And Udogi, they said, felt some tightness, but nothing serious.
I would have put Dyer in. No, I wouldn't have. I thought our substitutions were rather poor. I thought Emerson was fine. I thought
Emerson was shit.
Lo Celso was terrible.
Yeah, it's
That guy,
upsetting me.
he's not good.
Valise had like a really good run at one point and was like, pass it to me here. And Lo Celso passed it to him like a
Wait,
solid like 7 seconds after he'd made the
and he
run.
was what, like 365 yards offside?
Yeah, he waited so long, and Valise like laid it out on a platter for him. He was like, "Right now, pass me the ball."
And then, but the best part was Valise was clearly offside. And then
By
he's
the
like,
time,
now I'm going to pass it to you. Now's a good time. Let's
and
fuck
Valise
this little
knew,
prank.
didn't touch it, and then he like ran around, but never came back on side, and
Right.
then he touched the ball. It was
I saw
amazing.
that too. Yes.
That
Uh,
passage of play was
I
incredible.
thought Skip was mediocre, like he always is. And I forgot Brennan Johnson was even in the game. I don't think he did anything.
He had like one nice touch, but like it was on like a crossfield pass with no one on him. He didn't
So
do
the
anything
question
like
is,
attacking.
when he's healthy, does he start or does Richarlison start?
I think they'll rotate. It'll depend on like it'll be like a hot hand situation.
So Brian Heel, what do we do about him? Does he play?
I have no idea. I'd like to see him get a few minutes just like to see what we have. And if he doesn't really impress you, you send him out.
So the question now is, this team is playing so well, and Bentancur is back. What do you do with Bentancur?
I mean, keep in mind, and I keep mentioning this, like Basuma and Sar have to go to AFCON. Like there will be midfield minutes to play, but like as of right now, I wouldn't change anything.
So I wouldn't change anything either. Here's what I would do, though, a little bit of. Because Bentancur is flexible enough that he can play the 6 or the 8. Like, he can play kind of those
I
roles.
would I'd kind of only want him in that 8 role.
Well, but that's the Sar role. That's not the Basuma role. So the
I
question
know.
then becomes, because and you know I love Basuma, even though I think his shorts are too long and like he never shows any skin besides his face and like the fingertips, which bothers me because I think he's like overclothed. But besides the fact that he's overclothed
You
and he
think
makes himself
Basuma
look
is
like
a
he's 5 foot
prude?
9, not 6 foot tall, but anyhow, I think like 65th, 70th minute, we need to start subbing him out because he's getting way too many yellow cards. I mean, this guy, every game is getting a yellow card. And if we can prevent him from doing that
He
with
gets
some
them
minutes,
before the 65th minute.
so look, I would take Basuma out. I would make Sar the 6 then and Bentancur the 8 because Sar can play the 6.
I don't love either one of them there, but I'd certainly rather that than like Skipper Hoybier. Like, here's the thing, right? Basuma's going to play the next game. Also, why do we play Monday and then Friday? That's off topic, but that's horrible.
It's stupid. And then, by the way, we don't play until the following Monday against
Yeah, it's
Chelsea.
ridiculous.
I'm not sure
But
I
anyway,
understand the schedule.
so, but anyway, like, Basuma's going to play on Friday. Basuma's going to get a yellow. Basuma's then going to be suspended for another game
For
because he'll have
Chelsea.
accumulated 5 yellows.
Right.
There's some possibility he doesn't start that game either, so he can start against Chelsea. I don't know if they'll actually do that, but I
I
could
mean, I
see a
think
world in which
Hoybier
that
against
happened.
Palace is fine. So
I
maybe
don't
you
ever
do
want to
that,
see Hoybier again, but
but you're going to see him, right?
I'd
Bentancur's
rather
not quite ready.
I like I don't like the way Skip has played this year, but I'd so much rather Skip play than Hoybier because at least you can be like, he's young, he's moldable, like he'll fit the system
Skip
eventually.
is the Terrence Mann of the Premier League at this point.
He's
Like,
22 years old.
yeah, I feel like he's got
Terrence
no
Mann is
upside.
27.
Yeah, but they play until they're 35 or
No,
37.
we just talked about Terrence Mann, and you wanted to make a connection. And every time I do that, where I'm like, This is just like this thing in the NBA. You're like, you can't compare those two.
Well, I just did it.
Those don't equate.
Punch of the week.
Already?
Yeah.
No, we have more to talk about.
What more do we have to talk about?
Sonny being back to form as a center forward has been a breath of fresh air for this team.
Breath of fresh air.
And James Madison has literally been the best player in the world this season. And we'll get to something a little. Don't worry. I know what you're going to say. Don't say it yet because I'm going to say it. But later. Okay? I know.
How much later?
At the end of the podcast.
I mean, we're basically an hour in, and I need to go to bed. It's 11:30.
Okay, fine. So let's do our punch of the week.
Punch of the week.
So my punch of the week is the summer version of myself for saying that James Madison was not going to be a good signing because that is my worst ever sports take. He has been a revelation. In slightly my defense, he was never this good for Leicester, but at the same time, it doesn't make it defensible. It was a shitty take. I was wrong. I hold my hands up, and I'm very glad.
So he had spurts of this good at Leicester, but never over a prolonged period of time.
He'd be good for like 2 weeks, and then you wouldn't see him for a month. And then he'd pop up with like 3 goals and assists in 3 games again. But like this time, even when he's not scoring and assisting, and he's scoring or assisting a lot, he's still so heavily involved in everything we do. And the game dies as soon as he comes off every week.
Yep. So the key is, who do we find that can replace him? Not replace, but at least like give us 20 minutes of similar football.
So my hope next summer, you know I love Jeremy Doku, right?
Yeah, but they're not selling him.
That's not what I'm saying. You know I love Jeremy Doku, and I want a player similar to him for Tottenham. Nico Williams at Athletic Club is like, I think, the most similar profile on the market to him.
Wasn't Nico Williams at Liverpool?
No.
Different Nico Williams?
Yes. This one's a winger. And he is a free agent in 2025. So I think sign him to a big pre-contract in January and have Kulusevski be the Madison backup. Because I don't think he's cut out for being a winger anymore. He's never been fast, and now he's like even more intimidated by shooting. So just let him pass the ball. Let him do what he wants to do. And he can play instead of Madison in rotation or come off the bench sometimes for 20 minutes at the end of the game. And Nico Williams can take his spot on the right wing and dribble to the ends of the earth.
Okay. I don't mind it. I don't know about the new Nico Williams, but I don't mind Kulusevski playing the Madison backup. I'd have to see it, though. So my punch of the week, right there, Houston Astros. I mean, they're showing the Rangers, but it's the Houston Astros. I
kind of wanted the revenge. I'm not even sure we'll make the World Series given what's going on in this series, but I kind of wanted.
If we were recording this tomorrow night, my punch of the week might have been the Phillies. But for right now, it's the team that lost that game, the Houston Astros.
And they got blown the fuck out, too.
They did.
Every team lost at home. The entire series. That is absurd.
We shall see what happens in the World Series. Oh, boy. So with that, I bid you adieu.
Adieu.
And I thank you, Ari.
I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.